What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Body game is necessary for physical compatibility. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. You know what? This video was inspired by a couple things yesterday, right? The second thing that inspired it was one of my young lady friends on IG, and we cool enough. We talk. We can chat offline and everything, right? Real cool. Just platonic. But here's the thing, right? She had a story, and it had something about the things that you know asking the question, what would people like in a relationship as far as compatibility was their top two. And they had physical compatibility, emotional compatibility, lifestyle compatibility, and intellectual accountability. So I saw it, I sent her a message, say, okay, what is it for you? She said first physical compatibility and then emotional compatibility. And I said, yeah, that's the same thing for me, because I said you can work on the other two. But if those first two aren't there, boom. So that was actually the second thing. The first thing that inspired it, I was watching Love Island. And shoot, that is one of those like reality show examples of body game. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. But it was man, this weird fella can't have my seatbelt on. Anyway, oh, I know why. Anyway, right? It was, they had one of those scenes. You know how they'll bring in new people. So they brought in this woman. Okay. She was just chilling. Yeah, she was holding up, people looking at me. Anyway, right? Silver Fox, y'all. Anyway, right? This woman came in, new young lady. Anybody watch Love Island see it? I forgot her name and stuff. Like I be thinking about their names on there. And she said something about, as she came in, they were asking about physical compatibility and everything, right? And she said, she felt physically compatible with some guys, but, she had to really get to know them. And that's all that's important. Let's just be real. The other stuff, emotional compatibility is very important, right? And, just before I really get into it, that is an example, because, you always still get some people fight body game. Or they'll say, oh, it's just the face and height. Okay, but if it was just that case, why do the men who go on any of those shows, whether it's Love Island, Temptation Island, Too Hot to Handle, any of those shows like that on a beach, they don't just come in like fully clothed and everything? Why is that? I mean, think about it. If it wasn't important, they could just get any guys. If they was that important. Popo caught somebody. Got them outside the car. But yeah, if it wasn't, the body wasn't important, they wouldn't need to show it. I mean, come on. And that's a big part. That's a big part of it, because look, I'm gonna tell you what, with the body, anybody who thinks the body isn't important, that shows a lack of common sense. Seriously, let's forget all the other stuff. Forget all the studies, forget everything else. It just shows a lack of common sense. I mean, that's very important. If you take a sexual treatise, and sex is I'm gonna get into the sex part, I know I am. If you take a sexual treatise such as the Kamasutra, it talks about like matching up according to bodies. when it talks about for men, the men with the hair body, the men with the bull body, the man with the stallion body. And then for the women's side, they talk about the woman with the doe body, the woman with the mare body, the woman with the cow elephant body. This is about body size and everything, and just matching. And see, for a relationship to work, it has to, the two people have to be physically attracted to each other. And that gets down to sex. In fact, it's deep to the point that even the genitals need to be compatible. Because despite a lot of guys thinking they got to have some big old schlong, there's women out there, yeah, you get some women complaining about little ones, but some women be saying, well, it's too big. You know? Basically, it got to fit. The joints got to fit. Ideally, the joints need to fit like a glove. You know? Ideally. And unfortunately, a lot of guys find that out the hard way. But that's part of the physicality. It's not just one thing. You got to look at the entire body. The entire body. And men know it because, look, let's just be real with it. Especially in some of these communities that, you know, they might call themselves black pill or incel or whatever. The reality is there's plenty of women around. There's plenty of women around, but they just want the physically attractive women as far as bodies, because a lot of times they'll call a woman a land well or something, but it's like, well, she might be down for you. She might have sex with you. What's the issue? Or when guys even talk about, even when guys, they'll like jump on somebody else for having a woman who might, in their eyes, don't have that ideal body. Well, if it matters for men, it matters for women, and on so many levels. First of all, if you're talking about a woman having a baby, that man she needs to be physically attracted to that man. Not even just for common sense reasons like she need to be sexually aroused, but she's basically carrying a miniature version of him inside of her. Men provide the blueprint. They provide the working materials. Men provide the blueprint. Man, one of those Dodge police cars, undercover interceptors and stuff. Anyway, just passed. Anyway, right? So they gotta like it, but they just gotta like it for it. Because understand something, a big reason, and hold up, y'all can just do a Google search on physical compatibility and see what's said. Just do a search on it, all right? Do a search on physical compatibility, and you'll see what's up. You'll see what's up. You'll see what other people say about it. Because you gotta have it. You gotta be physically attracted to your mate. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. And ain't just and if the women, they ain't just looking at your face and how tall you are. In fact, they can't look at how tall you are without seeing your body. And your face sits on top of your body. So it's like you think they're gonna just ignore it? How's that working? How's that working? Because once again, common sense. Once again, common sense. They see the whole package. They have to be physically turned on. That's why now some people will say, well, that guy got it because of money. Well, first of all, do you know that woman isn't turned on by that man's body? Do you know? His whole package. Do you know for sure? Not speculation. Do you know for sure? You know, you can't speculate on something you don't know. Do you know for sure? Now, let's be clear. There are times when women are going to get with a guy and they might not be attracted to his body like that. But here's the situations. Here's the situations. One, they might, I'm going to tell you what, it's usually along this line. It's usually along this line. They have an emotional compatibility, and that's still cool. And she has to settle. And what you will find, and those are the primary thing. Everything is around that. Like, he's cool, everything like that. Now, unless he, even, you know what, even if he's just expert, like, I just got the skills and stuff, she still gotta have some attraction for his body. But if she really don't, usually those situations, she's using him, you know, she's using him in everything, settling for him. But those are usually situations which become sexless marriages. There's a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them. Hell. That's when you get those my bad situations. That's when some woman's going to look to cheat. Because the social factor, you know, it could be several things. Maybe they in the same social class. She's supposed to be married. She might not feel like she can get anybody else. Hell. It could, you know, a lot of times because of her religion or something, she feel like she's supposed to be married. So she grab whatever. But she ain't attracted. And even then, like, back in the day, I knew this woman, right? Knew this woman. And I can't give away too much about her. But she was going out with this church dude. Church dude is supposedly happy. But then I seen a letter she wrote to this guy that she was really in love with, who was in prison. He was in prison. Now, before somebody come with the Pookie and Ray Ray thing, or even then, I'll get into that Pookie and Ray Ray thing. Before they come with that, she didn't even like kissing the church guy. But she was totally in love with the other guy. And I said, what was it? She was like, he was fine. She was talking about everything about him, not just his face, but his body too. She was just physically attracted to him. And that's the key thing. You gotta have that. Now, of course, you gotta have other stuff to really make it work. But that physical attraction piece is killer. That physical attraction piece is what you gotta have. When people talk about, like I talked about on my Patreon yesterday, about love and lust, the difference between them, right? Oh, incidentally, I had talked about that in a video before. Somebody misheard me, thought they were telling me some new shit. And I'm like, let me just say something. Listen closely to what I say. Don't make any sense. Listen closely, all right? Dude thought he was hipping me to some book or something that I had had for over 2 decades. That really informed a lot of my thoughts on what I even talk about in relationships. So don't do that. But anyway, so I talked about it and I said, you know, and I even said this on a Facebook post years ago. I said people shouldn't even say I love you. They should say I lust you. Like when somebody's talking about love at first sight, you can't love somebody at first sight. You can lust the fuck out of them though. Because that's all it is. Because that's all you know. You see the physicality. And indeed, if you talk about that first sight thing, what's always said? It's always said, women make that choice in 3 seconds. They know whether or not they're going to sleep with a man in 3 seconds. Only thing they can see is his body. And yes, it's going to be his body. He could be very handsome, but they got to be good with seeing his body naked. It's going to be his body on top of her sweating, on the bottom of her if she's going cowgirl or reverse cowgirl. You know, behind her if she's giving the back shots. Now I'm gonna be raw like that. She has to physically want to have sex with him. Now all the other stuff will come in there if you're talking about a relationship. But even in a relationship, that physicality gotta stay there. That physicality gotta stay there. Because let's turn it around. Say a man get a woman, she got a tight body, everything, you know, nice firm breastises and everything. She got nice firm breastises, tight body. Damn, I'd be pissed if I lived on that street. You know, nice firm closed street. Anyway, nice tight body and everything. Ton, you know, bounce a quarter off that damn ass. You know? Nice. Shoot, got your shit so hard you could drive with your jam joint. Man, my tire's messed up. That's the second person I saw some tire around here. Man. Anyway, she still, you still gotta you want her to be tight. Now, say that woman, she started putting on some weight. How much you still gonna want her? All of a sudden, other women start looking good to you. Women are the exact same way. The key to body gain, hey, if you want to be in a relationship or get attention, you get your best body. Now, one of the things, because you get some people who talk about, act like, well, you got to be lean or you got to be this, and they think it's one specific type. Let's refer back to the Kamasutra when they talk about different types. Or let's refer back to more Western science when you talk about ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs, and whatever they have in between. I've seen up to 7, but that's at the base of everything. Oh, and real quick, sometimes you get some people, they try to deny even that. Somebody actually came on here and tried to say, oh, that's fake and stuff. You can just build up. You can have any body type. Okay, this is a person who probably wants to build up and is in some fucking fantasy. Because first of all, any parent that's had more than at least 2 children can tell you that's a genetic thing. When I look at my sons, anybody seen my sons now? One, he's tall. He's tall. He's about 6'4". 6'3", 6'4". 6'3", 6'4", right? When he came out, he was slim. He was taller than average when he came out, and slim. And he's been slim all his life. He's been slim all his life. His bones, everything, musculature, and everything, right? My other son is he's 5'9", maybe 5'10" with shoes on. He's not. My other son isn't as tall as me, but my other son is stockier. When he came out the womb, he looked like he had been bench pressing. He'd been solid since birth. Solid body and everything, closer to endomorphic. So for one, it's a challenge for him to put on weight. The other one, he got to work to keep it off. But that's genetic. In the Kama Sutra, they talk about, the hare, the bull, the stallion, the doe, the mare, the cow, elephant. Obviously, they different sizes. And that's just known. That's just common sense. Anybody can go outside, see, okay, different people, different size. That's why I say, look, don't try to be something that you're not. Hey, if you naturally big, if you naturally endomorphic, you just big. You can still work out, keep it to your best extent, but you're going to be what you're going to be. And if you're more on the slim side, naturally slim, which ain't a bad thing. It's easier for a slim guy to have visible abs. But if you on that, okay, you can still build it up. Find a woman who matched that. Now, in other circles, they'll talk about a looks match. Even in the incel circles, Black Pill, they'll talk about a looks match. That's a real thing. And that's physical compatibility. Like, I'm going to tell you what, the country elders, if they saw a couple together and they looked alike, they'd be like, okay, y'all brother and sister or y'all lovers. And in fact, if you think about it, think about the couples who just look like they just happy with each other, cool with each other. They'd be like, you really do be like, y'all related? And of course, that gets into some deeper psychological stuff, the anima and the animus and stuff. Shout out Carl Jung. But that's still a physical compatibility thing, Physical compatibility, like the bodies match. They look good together just on a physical basis. They just look like they be right for each other. At least on the physical part. Now the emotional part and all that's kind of, that's a little bit more. And then, if you talk about lifestyle or money, intellectual, social class, other stuff come in there, but at least on a physical level, they right for each other. Like you can look at a couple and they just look right together. They just look right. Now, of course, you got plenty of couples, they don't necessarily look right. But 2 things with that. Either A, they just still like each other's bodies, which is cool. which is cool, or B, they together based on other stuff. But as I'm always going to say, if they not good to go physically, at least be good with each other's body at a minimum, at least turned on. Well, the potential for relationship or even maintaining a relationship, starting a relationship, however points you want to look at, isn't optimal. That's usually the friend zone. In fact, for the fellas, all you who have been put in the friend zone, like seriously put in, like the woman is just not turned on. There's no sexual chemistry. There is no sexual chemistry. And I'm going to get into that in a second. You will be friend zone. She ain't feeling it. Just like most of y'all guys, let's be real. If that woman ain't, she got that nice tight body, you don't want to deal with. Like I said, all these guys complaining, they know there's some what they call land whales out here. Or some women who might not be as pretty, but they probably cool with it. They probably be real cool with you. You don't want them though. And women the exact same way. They probably worse, really. And like I said, it comes down to chemistry. Like, your bodies have to feel good. Now, I don't know how other men feel this, but sometimes as a man, you ever just look at a woman and just scrunch your nose or something? You just not feeling her? And in fact, that can actually contribute to erectile dysfunction. I always say the best way to know if you really got erectile dysfunction, like if you go to a doctor need to have some strippers in there or something dressed up as nurses. And then just kind of have a hidden camera and monitor it. If the dude get excited, it's like, yeah, that's the problem. Because a lot of times a guy get it, he just ain't physically turned on by the woman. So if a man to get that, the woman is, there's no chemistry there. She don't feel something. And that's what it'll come down to. And I know some people will be like, oh, that's shallow, that's this or that. No, it's reality. You got to deal with the reality. One problem is a lot of people don't want to deal with the reality. Everybody's talking about modern women and shit. Only thing is they free to go for who they want. Yeah, it used to be they had to just deal with that man just for money or something. Used to be. But shit, they can get their own money now, their own degrees and everything. Shit, I'm starting to lose track of the number of young women under the age of 30 getting houses. Shit. Getting houses. I know one who had one built from the ground up. They don't need men for money like that, so their physicality becomes important. Even who they deal with. And like I said, it must be a Western culture thing they don't get that simplicity. And no, I'm serious. I've met people in other cultures from Africa, Asia, South Pacific. They get it normally, without any argument or anything. They know that physical aspect has got to be there. They know that physical aspect, but, and I'm going to keep pushing it because that's the one thing that a lot of people ain't talking. They're talking about all this relationship stuff, and, how come these guys don't want to approach? Or I give you an example. I'm going to throw in the passport bros. Now, I've seen some of the videos of them dealing with some women in other countries. They got tight bodies. And the passport women. Oh, let me say something about the passport women. Some guys think they like some new shit. Man, I knew about them back in the early 80s. They always been doing that shit. Hell. They always been doing their sex vacation shit. That ain't something new. I heard that shit as early as I heard about that, 83. Freshman in college. He had some, one was an administrator, one was a grad level student. Two women, they were talking about some stuff in some of those islands. I already knew about it. They ain't no new shit. Don't think they just coming seriously. Get off that ego shit. Men are catching up to them. They've been going down there. Shoot, Eddie Murphy talked about that in Raw, 1987. Dexter St. Jock. He broke that shit down. And plus, I've known a lot of dudes from the Caribbean. They say, hey, that's an unofficial part of the economy. They checking for that woman as soon as she get off the plane. Be some cab drivers say, hey, so you want to have a good time? It wouldn't even be that. The cab driver would just be hooking them up with some stuff. So that's the thing. That is the thing. So I'm gonna tell you what. That physical compatibility is just there. Like these women be traveling and stuff. They looking for their body too. So and the men definitely. Like I said, I started off talking about the men. You look at the women, tight bodies. It just is, seriously. These guys know they can find a woman around the corner, but does she have that tight body? And these women know they can find a man who's going to protect and provide. Do we have a tight body? Or at least a body. Well, I ain't going to say a tight, whatever she like. Because, getting back, using a Kamasutra example. Some women like a bigger man. Some women like a slimmer man. Some women like a guy who's more in the middle. Every woman got a type. When I had Brittany on here the other week, she said she don't mind a dad body. As long as it's not too sloppy. And you got women really like it. See, women like different things. That's why I emphasize you getting your body right. Get your best. Don't think you gotta go too far down or too far up. It depends on the woman. And just find the women who like it. It's just that simple. I know some women who give me that look like I ain't small. Y'all saw my video yesterday. I ain't small. Built more like that football player and everything. Linebacker, running back, and stuff. But I know it's the women who look the most, give me the most attention. They tend to be those brick house types, like true thick, like those types be up in like some of those women be up in IG and stuff with those big fat asses, breastises, but snatch waist. Everybody else is that's cool. They gonna like different shit, Like the types that like me the best tend to be thick, fit. You can tell they still hit the gym, but they little, shapely, brick house types, like I said. So I mean, but you gotta have that compatibility. You can't fight it. Don't. Just get yourself in your best feel. If you having trouble, do it. Now, if you're not having trouble wherever you at, that's where women like it. And they going to like it. Some guys, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to get some guys try to fight against it because they ain't getting nothing. And they speculate, but they never speak from their own perspective. Or if they do, a lot of times they capping, I can tell. Because I've had a couple guys try to do that. One guy tried to come on here talking about, the women ain't paying. I got my body this and that. I asked him some questions. He said, well, yeah, these women compliment me once we in the bedroom. How you think you got to the bedroom? Shit. Some dudes be tripping like a motherfucker. Stop fighting it. But the only reason some people gonna fight it is they know their bodies ain't drawing any attention like that. Okay, hit the gym. Put on some muscle, lose some weight, do whatever. If you're not, let's put it like this, if you ain't getting any women, that's the easiest thing. Oh, and real quick, sometimes I get some people, they try to fight, well, I know all these muscular guys and everything, they ain't getting women. They capping. They lying through their teeth. Because the only way they would know so many is to be working out in the gym themselves. That's the only way they would know them. And they know they ain't hitting the gym. And because I've been associated with some type of gym since the 80s. So, come on. Known some several D1 athletes in different sports. Track, basketball, soccer. And I knew how they were getting down. And really, football, going back to high school. Who was getting the women, who wasn't? All right? So, come on. Stop. Instead of trying to fight nature, work out, hit the gym. It's just that simple. In fact, Because I'm down to one gym now, just time and distance. But at the last gym I was at, when I be driving and it be all dark and shit, there was this dude I saw in there, and I ain't gonna lie, he looked kind of goofy and everything. But I noticed something. After about a year just working out, steady doing his thing, I was like, damn, he even walking differently, holding his head different and everything. Seriously, I saw that was actually, if I ever see him around, I might interview him and stuff, because he made a serious difference. How he walk, how he hold his head, everything. His posture. Shout out to Marty. His posture. Everything. That's the thing. So it's just there. It's just basic. You got to have it. If you want a relationship, you want to have sex. If you want to have sex in a relationship, quick, whatever, get your body right. And stop fighting it. Okay? Yeah, and I'm gonna keep hammering it. I'm gonna keep hammering it for one simple reason. I'm giving you the basics. The basics. If you can't, what is funny? People be wanting like some deep shit, some magical shit or some shit like that. It was like, it's very simple. And I've said this before. Like, you can use because if you look at my books, Nice Guys and Players, Sexual Chemistry, or meeting attractive women, should even a player's eyes. The biggest thing is turn the women on sexually. Turn the woman on sexually. The primary thing is going to be your body. Like, guys be saying, well, my mouthpiece and all of that. Yeah, that comes in after she's turned on sexually. Because the only thing she can tell in 3 seconds is how you look. And when I say look, your whole body. That's the only thing she can tell in 3 seconds. She can't tell anything else. She can try to project some personality onto you, but that's all she can tell. You haven't said anything to her. Because if you even talking money and status, you got to talk with her to get there. But if you don't look a certain way, if she ain't turned on sexually, it means nothing. She ain't going to give you a chance to bring all that out. She got to have that just to open the door. I want y'all to think about it. What the hell you want to say in 3 seconds? She see you, Now, you might have some line or something like that, but I'm going to tell you what. You could say something totally funny that one woman will laugh at, and then the other one will be like, ooh. And the only difference is they looking at your bodies differently. One, you turning her on. The other one, you're not. All right? So anyway, yeah, I'm going to stick with Body Game, because the Body Game Nation is necessary. Body Game Nation started on March 13th, 2016. And I'm going to put a link to the first Body Game video. I ain't know, when I did that video, y'all see it, I was like using a camera off a old desktop. It wasn't even a laptop, a desktop. Camera was crooked, so everything crooked. No lighting, no music. Y'all even look in the description box for that particular video. Only had like one line. Now I got like a whole story and stuff in the description there. Every now and then, I got to go through and like remove some stuff. I got so much in the description box. But this had one line. Had my old song I used to use to open up, Pusher Man. Oh man, 2016. But I was only just getting started on like really getting into it around 2016. Really getting into it. So anyway, yeah, just check it out. That's where the Body Game Nation started. Oh, and if y'all see anybody talking about body game and shit, don't give me a shout out. Just put a link to my video and the date. Anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.